What do you do when you find yourself in a position to go on a blind date? The blind date turns into a blind double date. Well, for the last couple of weeks, we have done stories about crazy dates. Today is all about the crazy blind double date. That's right. You've waited a whole week. It's Thursday. And we're all about to get ready to start our crazy date part number 6. This one's called The Crying Girl. Have faith, let it begin. Crazy date story part 6 starts right now.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Don't you see that your faith is coming alive? Don't you see that it's tested every time? He's the one that makes your life divine. He's the one that makes you feel fine. Your faith's being tested.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hey, this is Freddie, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Angela, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin, the Crazy Date Story Part 6. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, or have maybe actually been listening to our shows back-to-back since we've been doing our 2-year anniversary, folks, I just want to point out to you, this is our Crazy Date segment. It's going on every Thursday until all my stories are pretty much gone. I've got a Rolodex of crazy date stories that take place back when I was in my 20s, and I had the worst 6 years of running in with the worst dates you could imagine. So, with that being said, let's get started. Well, up until this point, I've had a lot of single dates. It got to the point now where my good friend at the time was dating a girl, and she would always hang out with us. So I was always the third wheel. And she decided to, let me know that she had a friend that she really felt we would connect. And I said, well, I've never done a double date before, so why not? It can't hurt. This time, I can't get stood up because we know that the other girl is going to be getting ready at her house. So, something's got to give. Plus, my friend's girlfriend at the time knew who I was, knew what the type of person I was. She had to have put a good word in. And quite honestly, what could go wrong? All right. So, my friend and I get ready. We, decided that I was going to drive because I wasn't going to drink. I just wanted to be the DD person, and we decided to meet up and go and get some appetizers at a local restaurant. We did that and had a great time, and it happened to be a pool table there. We played pool. Everything was going well. Had a really good start to the date. The young lady at one point actually wanted to know if I wanted a soda because I wasn't drinking, and at one point even said that I was a gentleman. And I remember her saying to me that I was a very attractive young man. So I thought that was pretty cool. Everything was feeling good. I felt good. I felt like everything was on the right track. It started getting a little late, but not too late. But we decided that it was probably better to do something a little different. So my friend was like, listen, why don't we go over, Angel's apartment? We can hang out. He's got some really cool board games. And at the time, I had this game called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but I had it on the DVD version. So you can actually play interactive style. So, and I had the Uno Attack game as well. So there was a lot of different things. We wanted to do something different. It was kind of humid out. We didn't want to go miniature golfing. We figured, let's go back to my place and we'll do that. So we got back to my place. I made some hors d'oeuvres, for everybody, some snacks, and played some music. We were having a great time. Everything just felt perfect. And as many of you know, the story is getting really good. It's a positive spin. So we started playing, and at one point, the young girl was laughing. We were having a good time. She excused herself to my restroom, my bathroom area, and she went into the restroom, and we kept playing, and time went on, and I'm thinking to myself, she's been in there for quite a while, and I couldn't figure out why. So, I told her friend, I said, listen, is she okay in there? And she's like, yeah, So she knocked on the door, and of course her friend let her in. And you have to understand, my apartment is a very small apartment. The joke about my apartment back then was, it was so small you could eat a large pizza. You have to eat a large pizza outside. Now, the bathroom itself could literally, to fit 2 people in there, it's tight. It's just really a small bathroom. It's not meant for 2 people. But they went inside, and you could hear them talking, and my friend and I'm like, this is it, man. This is where the date turns for the worst. And I'm saying this to my friend. He's like, calm down. They're having girl talk. This would have happened if we went out. They would have always went out, powdered their nose and all that. So they come back out, and I can see that the girl's eyes were a little red. And I couldn't make it out. I was like, is she crying? So I said, are you okay? And she's like, oh, I'm fine. But I could kind of hear the crackling in her voice. And I says, did I do something wrong? And she says, oh, no. And, she was okay again, and we started playing. And at one point, we took a break from gaming, and a couple people we played some music. Some of the girls wanted to use my computer. This is back when, we were doing a lot of chatting online, and we were doing stuff on the computer, looking up different things to do. Wanted to see what's going on in Providence, to see if there was any events going on. In essence, really trying to plan for a second date, which I thought was really cool. And we started watching a movie. We decided to watch a movie. It was a scary movie. So we dimmed the lights. And I remember sitting down on my couch, and as we were kind of like cuddling, and all of a sudden, I felt this dripping sensation on my arm, and she had her head on my shoulder, and when I looked down, my arm was wet. I immediately look up in the ceiling because I'm thinking, is it raining outside? Do I have a leak on my ceiling? She had been crying, and I remember whispering to her, "Are you okay?" And she's like, she just couldn't stop crying, and I turned the movie off. I was like, guys, this young girl, she's crying. And for sake of argument, we're going to change her name. We'll call her Beth. So Beth was crying, and I said, Beth, what's wrong? Well, it comes to the point where we find out that Beth had just recently broke up with her boyfriend of 5 years. And this was 2 weeks ago. And she was on her first date. And I said to her, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't know you were in a relationship, and it was never told to me that you just came out of a relationship. I said, I know what you're feeling. And she just hugged me and started crying profusely, as if somebody had passed away. And her friend just stood there and was like, well, I guess I should tell you, I never liked her ex, and I was just so excited to get her moving on the right track. And I'm like, but you don't do that to somebody. The person's got to have time to heal. I said 2 weeks is not enough time to get back, on the dating scene. So she started crying, and I at the time I had a dog named Buster B, a little Chihuahua, and she liked the dog. And actually, Buster's a very picky dog, but he was warmed up to her. So I offered to take her out for a walk, and while I walked the dog and try to cheer her up, And we started talking, and she was very grateful that I wasn't mad about the situation. She asked me for a second date. but by ourselves. And I said, listen, why don't we just hang out as friends? I says, and this way, you don't have to feel like you're on a date. I says, we're both coming off of big relationships. Why don't we just hang out and have a good time? She thought it was a good idea. So this actually segues into a second date. The second date comes, I pick her up. This is about a week and a half later, and we decided to go see a movie. When we went to go to the movies, the guy at the counter that was ringing us up for our snacks had his name badge, and his name badge was Steven. Now this I will bring up. And she started to cry. Well, it happened to be that Steven was the name of her ex-boyfriend. And it felt as if everywhere we went, the remembrance of this guy was lurking. And she started to cry. Then we go into the movies, and one of the guys that's killed in the movie is named Steven. She wouldn't stop crying. I couldn't do nothing right. And you think that that's where the date ends. It only gets better. I decided to take her to the ice cream stand. We go to the ice cream stand, and the manager was doing the ring-ups, and his name was Steven. We could not get around the name Steven. It just kept coming up. It got to the point where I said, why don't you call him? You need to call him. Just tell him that you miss him. So what had happened was, there was a misunderstanding. There was nothing, the breakup was due to a fight. It was, nobody did anything wrong to each other, but it was one of those big fights that they had, and the fight was about, him standing her up. She thought he cheated. He didn't. She found out that he didn't, and she was too nervous and too ashamed to apologize for something that was quite honestly not his fault, but it was more hers because she jumped to conclusions. So after about 2 hours of conversation, I convinced her to call him. She called him. He picked up the phone, and he began to cry. Now I have two people crying. I'm in the driver's seat. And I said, where does this guy live? I'm dropping you off there. And that's what I did. I dropped her off at her ex-boyfriend's house. I'm happy to tell you that they eventually got married. And they are still friends of mine to this day. Sometimes in life, we have to remember that it's not always about us. Sometimes people need to be heard. Sometimes people need to understand that we all make mistakes. But it's forgiving one another. It is giving each other a second chance. Most of us will make errors or errors in judgment. Some of us will make mistakes. And we all deserve a second chance. Stephen deserved a second chance, and she needed to forgive him and forgive herself for making such a drastic decision so quickly. Now, my friend's girlfriend, they split up. They didn't make it. And that gentleman and I did not become friends, did not stay friends years later. So what does that tell you? It's a crazy world we live in. Well, that's our story for today. This one ran a little longer, but what can I tell you? It's a crazy date. It's a crazy world. And we just got to remember, there's many more to come. Yeah, the luck I've had. Have faith. Let it begin.
Don't you see that your faith is coming alive? Don't you see that it's tested every time? He's the one that makes your life divine. He's the one that
don't forget, everybody, we're available Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. live. We are all about having faith and letting it begin. And every single Wednesday for the month of June, we will continue to go back in history and just talk about episodes that we have done and just kind of recap them. And also every Thursday until the stories run out, we will continue on with the crazy date stories. So we'll talk to you next time for Thursday for Crazy Date number 7. For now, I will talk to you on Friday for another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. God bless you and have a great day. Remember, tomorrow's Friday. Woo! Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.